Support for Radio Friends comes from IT Como, offering computer and IT services for small businesses and residential clients. IT Como can set up remote work-at-home solutions and data security and backup systems and upgrade your company email to more modern platforms. IT Como can also help you get the most from your technology at home. Learn more at itcomo.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Friday, October the 28th. Pleasure to have you with us today. And I've got a good friend of mine sitting right next to me, Lois Long. And of course, when Lois is on, we talk about dementia, we talk about Alzheimer's, we talk about caregivers, all a part of our lives. And if we don't know someone yet who has been dealing with Alzheimer's, there's almost a guarantee that we will sometime in our lifetime.
Indeed. We find that there are generations. Have a friend that attends the support group who has her mother now in a care facility. Her daughter had surgery and her grandson had temperature, and she was taking care of 3 people. Even though people may be in a care facility, it doesn't mean that the caregiver is not stretched very thin.
Exactly.
And today I wanted to reflect on how, as the summer season ends and we're not outside so much, that we can share what we see and how we experience, even in the fall, what is outdoors.
And you wrote a poem for it, didn't you?
Yes, it's called Looking Out My Window.
All right.
One bluebird feather, multiple colors. A pair comes to my birdhouse. They work together to build a home. The barn cat greets the one who feeds her. With a yawn and stretch, she leaves her nest, trusting the hand that reaches for her, then waits patiently. A herd of deer visit our pastures. Fawns cavort as mothers watch and graze. Bucks run together in this season, young ones butting heads in play. Trees of different colors over the landscape. Green becomes yellow on sweet gum. Orange may turn red on maple. Bright red oak leaves hold on longer. A yellow leaf is released to fall. Having been green, it made chlorophyll, taking in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. Beauty without applied makeup. A leaf on a squash plant shares the vine with many others, hiding the season's harvest, clinging to the vine as the plant dries. The last rose of summer shares its color, one bloom held over for a fall performance. Morning dew refreshes each petal. In time, it fades and falls. Green grass is cut one last time in the fall. Mulched with leaves finely chopped, dew becomes frost until the sun appears. A brown coat is worn all winter. Wind moves grass, leaves, and water with grace or terrible force. In awe, we experience nature, accepting her gifts and presence. Lessons in patience and trust come as I look out my window.
That is absolutely beautiful. You wrote that poem?
Yes, sir.
You're a talented lady. Lord, and it's somewhat melancholy. I was listening to every word that you said, and it was tugging at my heartstrings. It's almost dealing with the cycle of life. In fact, I think it is dealing with the cycle of life. It's beautiful, and when you listen to those words, it makes you realize how important life is, but how fragile it is. And we must show respect for each other, no matter what stage of the life we're in.
Indeed, and we label our health conditions as the target, and we want to blame something that medicine cannot fix. And that's why I think it's important for us to relate to nature and its cycles which we think are very natural, because actually all of our cycles in life have a touch of, the natural reality.
Exactly.
But we view so much of nature, and so my question is, how do we bring nature indoors in the fall? And we still have our bird feeder. We kept it up all summer. But the other morning there were 20 dove gathered under the bird feeder. And red-headed woodpecker, the bluebirds, the fall birds that migrate.
Yeah.
A little titmouse came to the window while I was watching. And you don't see them in the summer. But we decorate for fall. We use pumpkins and the natural things to decorate. We like to smell that cinnamon in that pumpkin pie and pumpkin bread. That's all indoor stuff. But the taste of hot apple cider or hot chocolate and watching a wood fire, the embers in a fire, all of this can be inside, and it brings warmth when we feel cold maybe in the air, but we can visit in a place where we recognize the nature that's around us.
Now, when you're dealing with dementia, sometimes seeing a wood fire burn or smelling an old familiar aroma from many years ago can stoke memories, can't they?
And I think that's the major thing that I wanted to share. When we meet as a support group and we have our stories, it is the stories that the person with Alzheimer's or another kind of dementia may have a memory of. And let them tell their stories, even if it's the third time, because that's what brings back that warmth, that inner warmth.
Exactly. And you know what? Not just as we grow older, we tend to repeat ourselves.
Indeed.
I guess that's just a trait of growing older, because I will tell a story to somebody and they'll say, you know what? I've heard that story 4 or 5 times already, and I didn't remember that I had told them that.
Right.
So that is part of aging, isn't it?
I think so. The brain changes like the ability to get around and see.
Yeah. If people want more information, you are a volunteer and advocate for caregivers of persons with dementia. There is a hotline or a helpline that's available.
Yes.
And that is 800-272-3900, okay? If you want to write that down, I'll wait for you to go get a pencil, because sometimes you may feel like you've got your back up against a wall and you just need to talk to somebody. Okay, that's 800-272-3900. If you call that number, there's somebody there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right?
Indeed.
All right. Lois, thank you so much for coming by. Always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
All right. And enjoy the fall weather. Something you'd like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. Bye-bye.